Hello and welcome. My name is Mike Gillum. I'm a product specialist for the Acumatica Construction Edition. Today, I'm going to be covering a demo of the Acumatica Construction Edition project management functionality. The agenda will be covering the project management transactions within the Acumatica Construction Edition. Those will include requests for information or RFIs, project issues, drawing logs, daily field reports, otherwise known as DFRs, and photo logs. Let's go ahead and switch over to the Acumatica Construction Edition. As you can see, I've already logged into Acumatica Construction Edition, and my homepage is set as my project overview dashboard. I like having this dashboard set up as my homepage because it gives me that 30,000-foot view of my construction projects that I have in the system. These dashboard items, or what we call widgets, can be set up a number of different ways, different types: charts, tables, graphs, KPIs, trend cards, etc. Even setting up embedded web pages like job site cameras, as you see here, a live look into one of my construction projects. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, same functionality as if I were on the website directly from this dashboard. But for today's session, we're going to be covering and focusing on the project management functionality within the Construction Edition. So over here, I've got my workspaces. If I scroll down here and click on the project management workspace, it's going to take us into the project management menu. As you can see here, this is my full menu of project management functionality, starting with the transactions I mentioned earlier we were going to cover today. But we also have the ability here to set up certain processes, like assigning project issues or assigning requests for information processes. I also have different reports available to me from a project management perspective related to the transactions we just mentioned. RFIs that are outstanding, project issue forms, drawing logs detail, daily field report forms, or daily field report by project forms, which will show us a whole litany or all of the DFRs we've created for a particular project. Over here on the right-hand side, this is where I can set up particular preferences for project management. As you can see, I've got specific drawing log preferences, photo log preferences, project management classes that can be added. And if I click on project management preferences here just for a second, this will take us into that tab showing us the general settings for our project management preferences. So the due date calc, the project issue settings, RFI settings, daily field report settings sitting here. I even have the ability to switch over to, if I'm going to copy daily field reports from one day to the next, I can pick and choose which of those fields I want to copy over. Let's go ahead and go back to our project management menu. And let's start with our transactions RFI. So I'm going to click on request for information. And now it's opened up that screen for us, and it's showing me the RFIs that I currently have in the system. So right from this main page, I'm able to see what RFIs I currently have, what status they're in, closed, couple that are open. I've got a reason column here showing me has this RFI been answered or unanswered? Is any follow-up needed? I can also see which project it's associated with, and if it's been tagged that way, down to the sub-job level on that project. I can also see from my columns as I scroll slowly to the right, when is the due date? Is it impacting the schedule? If it is, what impact is it going to have? If there's a cost impact, if there's a design change necessary, was this an incoming RFI? Which business account is it associated with? So I have all of that information right at my fingertips, right from this RFI menu. If I want to, I can drill down. Wherever you see that blue hyperlink in Acumatica means you can drill down to the information behind the scenes. So in this case, if I want to drill down to any of these RFIs, I can. Let's just take a look at this first RFI here, which has already been closed. But as I can see when I'm in the RFI, I've got my header information around the RFI at the top. So I can see the project, the subjob, who the contact is, the owner of the RFI, and where we sit from a status perspective. If I scroll down, this is where I'm going to see the details associated with the RFI. So in this case, a question came in, missing generator pad in the original design specs. Where do you want it placed? That came in, an answer came out, whether this came from an architect, an engineer, somebody on the project side, could be a superintendent, could be a project manager, they're able to create these RFIs or input these RFIs with questions, and then as they're answered, that information automatically gets created inside of the system. So in this case, an answer came in, we want it on the east side of the building behind the dumpster pad. See, simple enough. I can print this RFI in a report form. If I needed to, I could reopen the RFI. And in this case, this has already been closed. But as you can see here, I could have even converted that to a change request as part of the change order workflow within the Acumatica Construction Edition. Also have the ability to email the RFI directly from within the Construction Edition out to external or internal folks. Let's just go back a screen. Again, here's that list of RFIs. So here we've got an RFI that's been unanswered, right? Sidewalk pavers on the front walkway. I can see that there's been a document attached. That's why that paperclip is turned yellow there. Nice visual indicator for us. If I click on that field, that RFI, it's going to drill down. Now we're looking at the detailed header information for the RFI at the top and the details down below. As you can see in this case, because this RFI is sitting here in a status of open, I have the ability to email that RFI, convert this to a change request as part of a change order workflow process. Of course, I can print the RFI as well. And if I come down here, I can again, this is where I have the ability to say, is there a schedule impact, a cost impact? Will this require a design change? So here the question came in, what is the pattern of pavers the client chose for this project? So this RFI has been sent out. We're still waiting for that answer to come in. As that answer comes in, it's going to populate inside of this RFI. Everybody will be notified on the project, whether it's the PM, the client, the superintendent, folks in the back office. Those notifications and alerts can be sent out related to all of the project management functionality that you see here. Let's go back one more. So again, RFIs can create them on the fly, send those RFIs out through the system, whether you're emailing them, printing those RFIs, the ability to create RFIs on the fly. And then right from this request for information main screen here, I can see all of my RFIs, what status they're in. I can drill down to the capabilities behind the scenes, drill into the details there, and handle my RFIs directly from within the Construction Edition. Next, I'd like to cover the project issue functionality within Acumatica's Construction Edition. So if I click on project issues, and when we think about project issues, those are issues that are happening on the project. It could be somebody's on the job site creating that project issue from their mobile app. As part of the Acumatica Construction Edition, you get the Acumatica app. Project issues are one of the icons on that app. Those can be created out in the field, entered anytime, anywhere access, right? The true cloud solution. Entered out on your mobile device, perhaps it's your smartphone or your tablet, and then that RFI automatically gets assigned to the appropriate person and follows the process. So here on this main project issues screen, we're looking at all of the project issues that I currently have in the system. So just like we saw on that RFI screen, we've got information to us right on this screen. So I can see which issues are open, which issues have been closed. I can also see which issues have been converted to a change request. And again, that visual indicator that tells me I've got a document attached to the line level of these project issues. So let's take a look at this project issue. So I'm going to drill down on that project issue. We're looking at header information around the project issue at the top. So we're seeing which project it's associated with, the subjob, the class ID, it was created out in the field, which priority is it. I can give it a medium, high, low priority. In this case, we did say there was a schedule impact, a 1 day, a cost impact of $15.75. So we're able to capture all that information right inside of the project issue from the folks or person in the field that's created this project issue. In this case, the tile guy put a hole in the drywall of the lobby. We need to get the drywall sub back out to repair it. So that project issue details has been created. And as we can see, if I come up here to files, I've got a file attached. So the person that created this project issue out in the field took a picture of that hole in the drywall. So now we're able to see that, attach it as part of that project issue, and that project issue automatically gets created inside of Acumatica, and the appropriate folks get alerted. So we've assigned this to Maxwell Baker. Maxwell Baker could be the project manager, could be the superintendent, construction manager, etc., whatever role and person you want to assign this to as part of the approval and assignment maps. In this case, this project issue, as we can see, has been converted to a change request. So if I click on this link here, this will take us into that change request. So now we can see the same information, drywall problem on site, the details down here below. So in this case, we've started to estimate this change request, which could be converted to a change order. Right now it's sitting here in a status of on hold. If I take that off of hold, you'll notice that create change order just became available. So starting with that project issue that we were just looking at, we can create and convert to a change request, eventually to a change order as it goes through that change order workflow process. So starting with those project issues out in the field, tracking that information, assigning it to the right person, seeing what impact it's going to have on the project, and then walking through the process of what we're going to do about that project issue now. If I go back to my project issues here, again, I can open up any one of these project issues. Let's see, we've got a design change on this one here. An email came in from the architect or engineer perhaps. We need a design change for the second floor. This is information from a class ID perspective. This didn't come from the field. Just wanted to give you an idea of what the different classes that you could create. We've got field and info in this particular example, this set of data. It's already been assigned when it was created. Again, all that information entered either out in the field, could be created from an email as part of the Outlook add-in functionality of Acumatica Construction Edition. You can turn emails into RFIs or project issues. Lots of functionality around the project management side of the Acumatica Construction Edition. Back into the project management menu. Now let's take a look at drawing logs. So if I click on drawing logs, this is going to give us a list of the drawing logs that we have in the system. The first thing I need to do is pick a project. So I could drill down to an individual project, or I could just untick this box, and now it's going to show me all of the drawing logs that I have in the system. If I wanted to drill down to an individual project, I can pick that project. I can even set up these drawing logs with a particular sub-job or discipline. So these are user-defined fields here. You can configure this. In this case, I've got a couple disciplines set up: architectural, civil, contractor, shop, electrical, general, mechanical. You can create those disciplines as you see fit based on the type of work that you're performing. So down below, we've got all the drawing logs. I can see the project that they're associated with. I can see that there have been attachments, so those drawings have been attached to the individual drawing logs. And right from this page, I get a lot of information, just like we saw in the RFIs and project issues. I'm looking at the discipline, the drawing number, have there been revisions, the description of the actual plans or drawing log itself, link to the original drawing if there have been revisions, and then who owns these particular drawing logs. Again, I can pick and choose those columns by clicking on that column configuration button. In this case, we've got all of the columns turned on, but if I wanted to get rid of some of these, I could have them over here on the available columns list and clean up this view for us. But in this case, I like having all of the columns turned on. It gives me all that information right at my fingertips when I click on drawing logs. So let's go ahead and drill down on one of these drawing logs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the hyperlink there. And now it's going to open up the individual drawing log itself. In this case, just like we saw on the RFI, the project issue, and the rest of Acumatica's Construction Edition, you're going to have header information at the top and detailed information down here below. So in this case, we've got header information around the drawing log. Which project is it associated with? Which subjob? Which discipline? I've got a title and a description. In this case, we're looking at carpeting plans or drawings for the project itself. Down below, I've got the drawings that I've automatically added. I could add any special attributes. In this case, I do have one. Is this the current drawing? I could say this is a required attribute as well. any activities associated with this drawing log. So here I could add a note, a chat, an appointment, perhaps an email or a phone call around these drawing logs. So I'm able to track all of the activities associated with the drawing logs. If any revisions have come in this case, we do have a revision for those hallway carpets, which I've added that to that drawing log, so we're able to see that and link to the drawing log itself and link to the original drawing. So I've got the original drawing hyperlink here. I've got the revised plan that came in here. I have links to both of those. I can get access to that information. If I come back up here to the top, oh, last but not least here, relations, I could link this to a particular document type in the system or a document ID in the system. So I've got lots of flexibility of what I can do with those drawing logs. Up above here, from an actions perspective or on my toolbar, I could create a new RFI or project issue directly from these drawing logs. So that's showing you how we can tie the other project management functions to the drawing logs, in this case, RFIs and project issues. I can also email these drawings directly from the site, and I could download a zip file, create that zip file, package up those drawings, and download that zip into the drawing log. And then if I wanted to add a new revision or new sketch, I can click on that. It's given me now a brand new drawing log field, which will be tied to that same project. I can pick and choose the title, the description. I can make all the changes I need to make. Of course, I'm tagged to the original drawing. Down below here is where I can add my new drawings or attributes or activities associated with that particular revision or sketch that we just added. So lots of capabilities around what you can do with those drawing logs. Let's go ahead now and click on Daily Field Reports. So I've clicked on Daily Field Reports, and now we're looking at the DFRs that I have in the system. As you can see here, I've got a handful of daily field reports that I've created in the system, and let's go ahead and take a look at one of the daily field reports. So I've opened up that daily field report, and now we're looking at header information around the DFR at the top. In this case, it's sitting here on hold. It hasn't been approved, hasn't been closed yet. Down below, just like on the projects menu where you've got that one-stop shop for all your project information, we're looking at all of the tabs available to us where we can track information pertaining to the project for this daily field report. So in this case, if we take a look at the first tab here, this is tracking labor time and activities onto the daily field report. So I can link existing time cards to this daily field report. In this case, we had employee Alberto Jimenez, regular hours. He was working on this sub job tied to this cost code. Time spent 7 to 4, whether it was billable or not. And as I scroll to the right, you can see more information linking it to the existing time card, whether it's a certified job or union job, all that information pulled in to the labor time and activities tab of this daily field report. Daily field reports are very useful, right? They're keeping everybody up to date on what's happening every single day on the project. A lot of companies will require daily field reports as part of the project, whether it's an electronic job binder or even printing these DFRs out and adding them to a manual job binder for the project. So change requests. Change requests can be linked to daily field reports. In this case, we had a paint change, which was added to this daily field report, and then we had a hole in the wall ground floor lobby change request automatically created on this day for this daily field report. Any change orders that were created on this day for this project are added to the change order tab. As you can see here, I could create a new change order on the fly, or I can link to an existing change order that was created for this project and now linked to this daily field report. If I click on subcontractors, this is allowing us to track which subcontractors showed up on the job site today. So in this case, the crane company, linking it to a sub job and a cost code, how many workers showed up, how long were they there. Again, just tracking that information from a daily field report perspective. Any project issues that were created. So today there was a project issue, heavy duty paving change, see plan. So a new plan came in. Perhaps it was tied to my drawing log. Perhaps it was tied to my project issues. Again, I'm able to track and see all of that to the daily field report for this project. Photo logs. We're going to talk a little bit more about photo logs here in a minute, but I'm able to attach my photo logs to my daily field report. So in this case, I could create a new photo log, or I could click on that button and link it to any existing photo logs that I had in the system. In this case, I'm not going to do that, but I'm able to see the main photograph, and if I wanted to, I could drill down to that photo log itself. There's that hyperlink allowing me to open up that information. So one of the things you're finding is you always have access to the information in Acumatica's Construction Edition. You can utilize those hyperlinks to drill down to the information without having to leave the screen you're on and go find it somewhere else. You can have access to it through those hyperlinks. Any pertinent notes about the project can be added to the Notes tab of the Daily Field Report. So in this case, contact architect on sheet A107 discrepancy. Just a quick note added by the PM or super, whoever is creating this DFR, can add any pertinent notes about the project directly to the Daily Field Report. Just like we saw in labor time and activities, we can track equipment time on the project. In this case, we had this Isuzu truck associated with this sub job, this cost code, runtime of 3 hours. Just tracking that on the daily field report from an equipment perspective. Weather. Able to track the weather from a daily field report. In fact, we can even link to a weather service, and that weather service will automatically add multiple times a day. You can set a schedule to it, weather updates to your daily field report. So perhaps you wanted it morning, noon, and night, or once every hour on the project. You can add those weather updates to your daily field reports. Of course, you can manually add it as well. If I click on that plus sign there, you'll see it automatically brought in the time for us. We can say, okay, it's overcast. We can set the temperature. We can say whether or not there was any precipitation on the project, heavy rain, moderate rain, etc. Did it impact the project? Any wind? What were the site conditions? It went from dry to wet. We did have a delay while the storm blew through, and then you can add a description onto your weather tab of the daily field report as well. So again, tracking all of those pertinent items around your project on the DFR. Any visitors that showed up on the project. In this case, we had John Smith and Angela West show up. They were there for site meetings, or in this case, Angela was there from a tile sales perspective. I'm just tracking those visitors that showed up on the project. So everybody, whether they're on the project that day or not, are able to look at the daily field report, understand what the weather was, what visitors were there, what subs were there, any change orders or change requests or project issues associated with that daily field report or project. Again, accessing all that information inside of Acumatica's Construction Edition. When I'm done with my daily field report, I can take it off of hold. It'll be set to a status of completed, but I can also print or email that daily field report. So I've just clicked on print email there, and it's showing us a daily field report form. So in this case, we're seeing all of those tabs where we added information are now showing up on this form. So there's our weather update, the newest one we just added earlier here. The labor time and activities, the change requests that were tagged to that daily field report. And I can go to the next page here showing us the change order, the subcontractors, the project issues, the photo logs associated with this project on that daily field report. So now it's showing us all of those photos added to that daily field report from the photo logs tab. The notes that we added, the equipment from a time tracking perspective, the 2 visitors we had on the project, all added to this daily field report form. And like the rest of the reports in Acumatica, we can export out to Excel or PDF. I can email it directly from within the system, and of course I can print to paper. So daily field reports, very powerful tool. Lots of our customers utilizing them on a daily basis, providing feedback to their entire organization about what's happening on their projects, whether those folks are in the back office or out in the field on that project or on any of the multitude of projects they have going in the system. They're able to track all that information. Okay, last but not least, I want to cover photo logs. So I've clicked on photo logs there, and now we're looking at the photo logs that I currently have in the system. I could come in here and say, show me the photo logs just for a particular project or task. In this case, I'm looking at all of the photo logs I have. So I've got a photo log for this concrete project, a photo log for my restaurant project, and a photo log for my hotel project. I can drill down into any one of these. It's always going to show us a main photo. So inside of each photo log, I can pick and choose which photo I set as my main photo, and that's what's going to preview for us on this main photo log screen, as you can see showing up over here on the right. If I want to drill down on any one of these photo logs or open them up, I just click on the hyperlink, and now I'm seeing the photo log detailed or header information at the top and detailed information down below. So I've got 3 photos here. I've got my concrete finishing photo, sidewalk progress photo, my block wall as it was going up photo. Again, I'm able to track my job progress by utilizing these photo logs. Come up here to actions. I can create a zip file and download that. I can email these photo logs directly from within the system out to whoever I need to related to this project that I want to give access to these photo logs. If I just go back a screen here, let's take a look at this restaurant project. We can drill down to the photo logs there, see the photos that are associated with that project. So in this case, we've got our main photo showing some electrical work up there. I can see my concrete finish work on the sidewalk outside of the restaurant. I can see electrical work again, the ditch for the underground utilities, taking all the photos necessary that I want to track for this project and update everybody related to the project with those photo logs. So that covers the project management functionality within the Acumatica Construction Edition. I'd like to thank you for your time today. And if you have additional questions, you can always get a hold of me, mike.gillum@acumatica.com, or also check out our Acumatica website, acumatica.com,